business, item A, will be removed from the agenda. Now, with that amendment, we can make a motion.
What did you say?
We're deleting old business A, public art escapement.
Right.
Many questions to that? Nothing? Okay. Vote. I think it is.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
So the next item is approval of minutes from our November 13th meeting. So do we have any corrections to those minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes of November 13th.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to citizen communications. Next item is the presentation, and then we have the YAC/E.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You remember at the Yak with me, the 2019-2020 Yak? So this year was pretty big for us. The whole Yak is, except for one, is in high school. So it was high school students for us. A lot of them go to Oceana High School, or just Oceana High School, and is it Notre Dame? So this past year, they helped with the Safe Routes to School project. They hosted a couple dances, different dances. They helped with Bike to Work Day. They were the main game monitors for the Park and Rec month in July, when we had all those games out there every Friday for concerts in the park. They helped with Day in the Park. They did the family games before the pie eating contest. They also helped do tie-dye for the Stars for Music Festival. They recently hosted a Halloween dance. They were involved with Festival of Lights. They did all the Santa letters. And at the end of the year, they were the ones that wrote the kids back Santa letters and mailed them back to the kids. So that was this year, or this past year. For 2020, they are a bigger part of all the events that we have here in Brisbane. They also want to plan and host some pop-up events for teens in town. Some of the ideas that they have are hosting a movie night at Mission Blue, a teen game night at Mission Blue, and a big teen field trip for everybody in town. Coming up, they have on January 24th, they have a Yak Social.
good to see, and I'm glad you're all involved, and that we just didn't forget about the teens who are in first base. Thank you. I hope you gave them pizza. Yep, Caleb, there's pizza. Follow.
Okay, moving on to the next item on our agenda is the old business, so the dog park, resurfacing. And there's an attachment with that. So Steve's gonna give the staff report, and then we have someone here to provide some public comment, and then, we'll open up the conversation for commission.
Good evening. Happy New Year, everybody. I won't go through the whole attachment word by word, but you know that dog park has been a topic of conversation in town recently, and one of the main focuses of the conversation has been the surfacing of the dog park. And basically, at this point, we're kind of at a point where we need to make a decision, like where we want to go in the future, with what we want the dog park to look like. People have been pretty vocal on all sides: grass, artificial turf, the DG. I mean, pretty much proponents for each type of surfacing. So we, as a staff, we've gone around and we've looked at other dog parks. We kind of researched other dog parks that are mainly grass. There's not a lot. There's actually pretty few. There's maybe like one or two in the San Francisco that I know of. A lot of the dog parks you'll see on page 3 of the attachment are kind of the mainly DG with a little bit of areas of astroturf on the side, or dog turf, or all DG, and then with other elements inside the park. And basically what it comes down to is, as with everything, is pricing and maintenance, future costs. So the final page gives you the options and the estimated costs. I think they're all pretty accurate. I just wanted to say on the one, I believe on the hardscape, if we went to DG the entire thing, I think that cost is mostly just the actual material. There would be a lot more labor associated with that, because you'd have to dig out everything that's there. You'd have to go down at least 5 to 8 inches and fill up from there. So that would be another cost based on that. And then I think tonight we're just generating some discussion amongst the commission and then also amongst the community. So I guess at this point we could open it up to public comment.
Hi, I'm Kim for development. I just wanted to, I'm kind of opposed to the artificial turf at all. I don't think it has a space in the park, and clearly everything in the neighborhood is too small. So I think grass is great, but I understand the maintenance involved, and the costs. So if that's going to be an issue with grass, I would prefer the decomposing no turf, maybe small area of grass maybe, or pretty small beds, maybe, but just prefer that.
Anybody from the commission have any questions or comments?
I have one question for you. Where have you taken your dog, what dog park with the artificial turf one? Mm-hmm. what do you mean it's spongy? Oh, oh. Mm-hmm. Mm, mm.
Thank you. Thanks for the
Yeah.
feedback.
Through the chair. I was on the commission when we went through this the last time, and we had a lot of input from dog park people, and it was really clearly going down the side of natural grass. And I remember some of the arguments against artificial turf were that at that time it was taken a drought, that that artificial turf has to be cleaned. It doesn't regenerate itself the same way natural grass. However, we did that. It was a considerable expense, $30,000, I think, something like that, to do it. And then, of course, it's now deteriorated in a period of, what have we done, 3 years here? 2, 3 years to now we're back to square one. We had a subcommittee meeting at the dog park a while back now, and there was some there wasn't a real direct and organized way of getting feedback, but the anecdotal feedback that I heard at that time was that people were leaning a bit more towards the artificial turf. So we're kind of, you know, where are we with that? Your thoughts, Mary?
I was gonna say, just like this time of year, when did we meet? It was September.
September, yeah.
I can't remember if it hadn't started to rain yet, but I know I had talked to some people when we put together the ramp that's up there about 3 weeks ago, and people just the mud is a problem now. People, she was telling me she has these special boots that is just for the dog park because it's so muddy this time of year. They got to hose their dogs off after, and it's just um, not a good all weather park right now in its current condition. And I think that's kind of like one of the selling points for artificial turf is its more year-round usability. Um, if we diminish the grass area, that would probably reduce it or extinct it completely or something. It's so hard with the shape of that dog park. It's long and narrow, so it really, I mean, it's right down the middle is where the dogs run and back and forth and they play and chase or fetch. It just really just wears out the middle.
So is it really unreasonable to think that under any conditions, because of the shape, as you point out, the shape of the dog park, its narrow nature, and dogs go back up, that natural turf is sustainable? It's real. I mean, and that was one of the things that I was hearing when we did that on-site subcommittee meeting is that really you can say, well, it hasn't been maintained. I know there's a lot of community pushback about the maintenance of it, that was subpar or whatever, and that was contributing to it. But I did kind of get the impression that just the nature of it, that natural turf is not really sustainable. That what we would do is just resod it on a regular cycle every spring.
2, 3 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the way it gets the sun as well. It doesn't have a lot of okay drainage. There's not a lot of space. There's always going to be a mud pit, which at least when I planted sod before, like the grass doesn't really grow great, so it just
And then as far as it's mentioned here, 24 local dog parks, only 3 were real grass. What was the
do those get worn down? Because do they get ruts in them from the dogs running back and
It
forth? Is it
does.
holes
You have to
and
kind of do like a top layer every so often. We've done that at the dog park here on the north end where we have BG. Occasionally they'll come in, they'll bring in new BG just as top coat because dogs are big and
mm-hmm.
that's what they need.
And also, how does our park size up to those 24 local dog parks? Because we have like Burns and those huge parks. Compared to our sizes.
It's hard to say because some are just so massive. They're like converted ball fields.
Yeah. Our
And
Burns
others are just
massive.
kind of small because they're in housing areas. And I think the size of ours is fairly average in comparison to the other dog parks out there, but the shape is different.
I'll offer just perspective. So we have both a pea gravel area in one part of our home in the mountains, and then we have granite in another. And we found that the gravel has been much more sustainable and better for the dogs and the kids, just because it doesn't travel everywhere and it all stays in one spot versus BG. We have to like replace components of it because it's like dust. It'll vanish with wind and it gets all over the place. So if I were offered the opinion of artificial turf versus pea gravel, I think pea gravel, given again the size and the concentration, might be a good option to explore. And I think pet owners, like us at least, would probably like it as well because it's a little less messy because you don't have then all the dust of the BG getting into the dog's fur and all that fun stuff. But it's like walking on beach sand a little bit. So it's not, yeah, they're really tiny. They're soft on the paws, soft on feet. I actually prefer walking on the pea gravel than I do the BG because it doesn't stick to you, and it's really comfy.
Is that what they have done at Chrissy Field?
I don't know if I didn't look into it.
Well, I kind of like the idea. I like that pea gravel. I think that makes sense. But also, I still like a little bit of the turf. It's
It might be worthwhile.
maybe a smaller. I know we have a larger area of the grass, but maybe we can make that a little smaller so would still satisfy people that want the green area and pea gravel.
Yeah. Um, so what are the next steps with this? Um,
Essentially, what the commission needs to do is make a recommendation to the council.
okay.
If you guys are prepared to do that this evening, you can make a motion to make a specific recommendation to City Council. If you would like for us to bring back additional information regarding the various options, or do some additional research, we can do that and bring it back to your next meeting. And then budget from there.
What's the MRS services report?
Pretty dry.
Yeah.
From a budgetary perspective, what's the budget availability for this?
I mean, there's not a specific budget for it. It would be a new ask to City Council if we were to propose and tell them what we're doing.
Got it. Okay.
Would staff want to look into that pea gravel? See what the cost would be on that?
We could, yes, sure.
Yeah.
Or does it leave it?
So my thoughts on this is somewhat of a compromise of the two. I would like to see the dog park be mostly the pea gravel, but retain some turf, um, whether that's artificial or real grass. Some portion of it have some greenness in it. I happened to be playing golf this past weekend in San Leandro and looked at their dog park and did see an example of where their dog park, with both large and small dogs, had a large strip of gravel in between and some grass on the side that had
areas for agility or those tools for dogs to drop to climb on. That seemed to me like a workable solution because as we hear, down the middle, up and down, is where the most activity seems to happen. Then that's where the most hardiest solution should be. So that's my thoughts on it.
I would agree with that, with the caveat of um, I would suggest we go towards artificial turf for the green, just given that I think we've seen this play out now multiple times, both on the implementation of it and then on the maintenance, because maintenance has also been a problem with watering, etc. So I like you. I would agree with gravel or DP and some sort of artificial turf, just a nice combination, but not the real substitute, or not the real goal.
I concur.
I concur.
Do we need a motion to make a recommendation? I'll motion to make a recommendation. It sounds like we all are in alignment of.
Motion for, what is it, for?
Make a recommendation to city council.
Then you have to say what we will. Right, yes.
Gravel.
Okay, sorry. Did you want me to say it, or do you want to say it? Okay. I recommend, I motion to recommend to City Council that we have the dog park resurfaced with a combination of pea gravel and or DP, depending upon what is recommended by staff, and then in combination with greenery, that is artificial turf, that seems real turf, considering that the both maintenance and implementation of real turf has now multiple times proven to be unsuccessful.
Aye.
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 Right, next item, new business. We'll start off with the signboard policy. Thank you, Kim. All right, so as you know, we are moving forward with the new e-ink signboards. We don't have them yet, obviously, but in preparation for that, Trisha and I have met to update the city's signboard policy, which dictates how we handle signboard requests and place them into our queue, the various priority grouping levels, general use categories, and so forth. Essentially, this is the city's previous policy with some minor tweaks to reflect that of the electronic nature of the new signboard. We also are exploring a web-based platform for submissions so that they don't all just get to Trisha via handwritten messages or emails or phone calls, and to encourage people, residents externally as well as internal providers to submit their requests through an online platform. So trying to really standardize and streamline everything. So at this point, we're just bringing this to the commission for review, to gather any input that you might have, and then to go ahead and adopt the policy. Do you have any questions or?
Yeah, so some questions in reading it. What about images? Are images allowed or just only text?
At this time, we're just going to utilize the signboards in the way that we currently utilize them and restrict it to text only, but the solution does have the capability of displaying images, which is something that we might want to explore using in the future.
Okay. The other thing in it talked about the usage is 1 to 4 days, but it didn't say during the 1 to 4 days how long it might be present.
Yes. So that is also up for discussion. We haven't made that determination regarding what the best solution or option is. I had a conversation with Stuart about it the other day, and whether if we have 4 signs in rotation, how often or how frequently do we rotate those signs, and what will that look like? Because if someone has a sign in the queue, there's a chance that residents may never see it because they're just not driving by at the time that that specific sign is up. So you either have a faster rotation, and you have more signs changing over every 10 seconds or every minute, which I don't know if that creates an issue with people driving by, or you just have one signboard in the queue at a time and it goes up for one day. So we haven't fleshed that out yet. We
rotated, I could put 10 seconds is a disaster. And I get the point that if you have four in rotation on a single day, that people may just miss switching them. But are we in a situation now, the way we do it now, where we have, where if we had the capacity to display more than one on a single day, we would do that? In other words, are there things that are being displayed that aren't being used at all?
Yes, there are requests that Trisha received that she's not able to accommodate because the queue is just full.
And those requests that get set aside, those are in theory more likely to be group 4 or 5 that sit lower in the queue.
Right. I mean, Trisha does her best to accommodate as many of the requests as feasible, but we're limited in space, and so part of the push towards an alternate solution is that these image displays that it will allow us to display more messages to ensure that everybody has an opportunity to read them.
And how often are they currently changed? A message is up there for only one
Well,
day?
I was just gonna say, I was just gonna get into that. I try to get signs up and let them stay up for at least 3 days. Then that gives, people plenty of time, because we never have, like, with this, what we're talking about is possibly having one sign, right, on all the boards at the same time, so it's the same sign, because then it can get, we don't have that now. So we have a different sign here, and then a different sign when you're leaving town, and then a different sign up at the ridge most of the time. So we want people to get an opportunity to see these signs, so we leave them up for at least 3 days. There's times they're up longer, depending on what the sign is for. Um, and there's I try not to make it shorter, but sometimes if somebody really wants something in there and they just say like, oh, can you just give me a day? I'll put a sign up for a day. But, there's a lot of labor in that, and as far as me making the signs and Linda having to go back out every day and put up new signs. And so this again is a big work in progress to figure out how we want to make it more efficient and so that people can see what's up there, and like you said, not miss signs in the middle of the night that might only rotate and come through at that time or something. So we have to tweak a lot of the stuff.
I think just reflect on the 101 that has the rotating, signs, one in front of my building. That I think the standard is like 30 seconds to a minute, and then it just wipes until the new sign. That might be something to look at when you commit to it, right? Because I think there's a balance between, if you don't have demand on a given day, then you don't necessarily need to rotate it. But if you have a high demand, where you're trying to accommodate multiple people, then maybe you can look at something that rotates.
Yeah, and I feel like being in this town as long as I've been now, coming in and going home every day through the front of town, it can become very distracting if I could see how, because people drive and they slow down and they're like trying to see what it says, and if you've got a sign that's changing every 30 seconds, people are, it's not, that's a difficulty here. And I can see where when you're in a larger, metropolitan area, and but when you're in a small little town like this and people are trying to read this sign about so and so that passed away, or what's coming up event this weekend, feel like it has to stay up for a few minutes at least. Because I don't know, that's kind of what we're trying to figure out.
Well, and I also think it, similar to the thing about putting images on it, that if your change is already going to be significant, if you keep everything else the same, in other words, the rotation is very similar to what we're doing now, at least in the beginning, that would probably you would probably see the least resistance to that change. And once it's up for 6 months and adopted, then maybe that's the time to experiment with quicker rotation and so on. But if we started off right off the bat doing a like Facebook and all that, here's the information, okay, and a minute later it changes, I could see people rejecting the whole concept because that would be the frustrating
think if you're unable to service the needs of the community by getting signs rotated, and you have the capability to do it, not maybe 30 seconds or a minute, but figure out what a cadence could be. Maybe it's every 15 minutes, but if you have demand for it, it would seem to me that the best use of this investment would at least be to allow it, and then for all the other times when there's no demand for it, then you can keep them static for a day or a weekend or whatever it needs.
Through the chair, too, I think you might find another scenario where you're driving by and it's up, and then you're waiting for the next, and then people stop and come on, rotate and see what else is going on. We'll have that too. And then with the images, I'll tell you what, if those images go up, it's going to be very popular. People have
I think so
a
too.
depth
I think yes,
of
yes.
notices. That will be real popular. But I kind of like 30, 40 seconds.
But I'm just saying, whatever, you don't have to set a time. I'm just saying demand based.
Well,
And
to your point, David, you know, does it have to be in seconds like that, or can it be every 15 minutes?
exactly.
Let's say we had three images on the signboard here, which has two sides, and they are rotating those three images so that there's two on either side, you know, rotated every 15 minutes. And if it doesn't, you know, if somebody drives in and out of town and misses a small percentage, and there are other ways that we, you know, get information to the community. Granted, this is, you know, really, really important.
And the EE is like instantaneous for that. Because there's no gradual fade in or out. It's like done. So if you happen to drive by it at that right moment, you actually get the benefit. You get 2 for 1.
So it sounds like it'll be like an on demand as needed basis that we'll use images up for longer based on lower demand, but when we have a higher demand, excuse me, we'll look at rotating them about every 15 minutes.
Something like that.
Sounds
40
great.
seconds, you guys said 30.
Sounds like
Oh,
we're very comfortable with the 15
15
minutes.
minutes?
yeah, I think 15 minutes, because then it's not like you're driving by and it changes.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and it changes in 3 and 4 messages, but I think we would get really good protection on 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Particularly for people who are looking to reject the idea right off the bat.
Do we know what the sign will look like at night yet?
The same as the sign now, because it's not backlit. It would be lit from the front.
Okay.
Same as it is now.
All right. To adopt the policy, yes, and then we'll include the information regarding the rotation into the policy.
And I have one more thing here. Number one, the procedures. I find this, I don't know if you'll be able to really hold this true. All requests must be submitted in writing. Verbal requests cannot be honored. How are you going to do that? I'm at the front desk. Okay. Okay. You know what I'm talking about.
I do. Well, and we're hoping to encourage everybody to use the online submission form so that it's fully transparent to people. You know, we understand that it will be an education process for a little bit, but we hope to get everybody on board. I will say that the majority of people that ask for signs typically email me. The only people that actually come in and ask for signs would be for the memorial side of the signboard. They come in because they want to talk to you and they want to give you what they want in person and, you know, get some information in person. But for the most part, most people just email me. So I feel like it wouldn't be a difficult transition for them to just fill out a form and send it in.
As far as the guidelines and parameters, is there, I guess, on this procedure, should there be like a maximum number of characters? Would this be the place for it, or would it be the form?
It would be denoted on the form.
On the form. Okay.
At one time, didn't we talk about trees?
I thought we did. You might know, but
For the signboard?
them is the facility rental fee analysis. There is an attachment with that.
Okay, so this we have been kind of going through all our fees, and we were reflecting on a lot of program fees, and decided to do kind of a little deeper dive into our facility rental fees, and it really kind of just jumped out at me that, especially for Mission Blue, our hourly rental rates are pretty high compared to surrounding cities and their municipal rental facilities. If you could see on the front page, the annual revenue that we've taken in has pretty much gone down every year the last 4 years. The rentals, we're not renting a whole lot of dates for Mission Blue for all of 2019. What do we have? 18 Saturdays, 7 Sundays, 3 Friday nights, 2 weekdays. So it's not. We are busy. We've got classes up there. The weekday ones kind of. There's really only one weekday you could rent at night. That would be a Thursday night. There's no dance classes. There's no yoga. There's nothing going on. So that's one issue. But even during the day, I mean, there's nothing going on from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or to almost 7 p.m. on some days. So, I mean, there are options for daily rentals for business meetings, for presentations and stuff. We're not getting it. And then Friday nights, like I said, we only really had 3 Friday nights, and 2 of them were just in December for corporate holiday parties. And I can't remember what the other one was off the top of my head, but that's 3 Friday nights in the whole year that we rented out. So I kind of looked at local facilities on the last page and just kind of got their rates. Most of them are in the $150 to $250 per hour. It's just even our resident rate for a weekend rental at Mission Blue at $324 an hour is way more than it would be for our Brisbane residents to go rent as a non-resident in every other facility. And I think definitely, just dealing with people and looking at the permits and the paperwork, we're doing like, significant big kind of ticket parties, weddings, quinceañeras, bar mitzvahs. We're not getting a whole lot of just family birthdays or baby shower or just something. It's a big expense. You're talking about for 5 hours for a non-resident, it's almost double the average price of surrounding cities. You could, it's pretty big. The other thing is, a lot of the other cities, if you look at the difference between resident and non-resident, it's not so drastic. It's just a nominal fee. Except maybe Foster City is about $100 more per hour. The rest of them are really only 20 to 40 bucks, maybe 50 bucks at most, for 140, almost $141 per hour more for non-residents. So I think that might be kind of, I don't know, Tricia could probably ask. She gets a lot of phone calls where people just ask what's the rate, and that's the extent of the phone call.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, residents included, but mostly non-residents. A lot of people don't go online and look at the information online, so they call to get the information. And when I give them the pricing, they're like, per hour? And I'm like, yeah, because they'll think it's like per day, and I'm like, no, it's per hour. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, thanks anyway. So we get a lot of people that turn away because the rate is so high.
And then conversely, our community center rate is pretty reasonable. $60 an hour for resident, and then $155 for it's almost 3 times as much for a non-resident. So I think, yeah, I went through that, and we didn't rent the community center at all one time at a non-resident rate. So it was just happen. So what also happens too is we get a lot of people. If people are non-residents, they will go find somebody in town to fill out the paperwork or uh, come in and do the permit and the deposit to get the non-resident rate. And it's just kind of a then it's kind of a pain for us as staff because we're like, well, we know the party's actually for this person, but this person came and has their name on the paperwork. If we need to talk to them, it's kind of a we really actually have to talk to the other person, and it's not the not the best situation. And then the other one, the final one, was the gazebo. It's that one is I don't it yeah I just the gazebo I can't remember when this came up for on the fees, but it's really out of whack as far as resident rate to a non-resident rate. I just rented. I live in Hayward, so I went to the Hayward area Parks and Rec and did a picnic reservation and a new park, and I got a gazebo with 6 picnic tables, 3 barbecues, and it was $80 for the day. And I mean, basically, we're just renting out shade for $70 an hour or $209 per hour for non-residents. So that it just really seems. I don't know if I did the breakdown, but how many gazebos we rented out? It was I think 4. Yeah, like a handful. Like 4. Yeah, we had 4 residents rent the gazebo for the whole year. And I would see the gazebo more as there's not a whole lot going on with that. It's not a facility. It's really just a shade structure as a tie-on and add-on. People when they do ask about it, it really is kind of like shade for if they have elderly grandparents that don't want to sit in the sun. We don't have a whole lot of shade in our park. It's really what they're looking for. And then when we tell them the rate, they're just like, well, what does that come with? And they're like, well, nothing, because our policy is you can't grill in it, you can't drag a barbecue over there. You can really just put chairs in there. So I kind of looked around at other places that had gazebos and shade areas and got some rates there. And a lot of them are mostly just daily rates. It's not really an hourly rate for that. And then the hope for that, the fiscal impact would be hopefully we would get, especially for Mission Blue, would get more rentals. We get a wider variety of events, functions, and parties, and be more accessible to more people in the community. I think it's really it's a big ticket purchase for our weekend full facility rate for $463 an hour. Yeah, so that's pretty. I mean, and then I don't know. Renee could probably speak to this, but at that rate, there's expectations of. I mean, I probably should have taken a look at what it costs to do a wedding at the Sir Francis Drake or Weston St. Francis, and probably pretty similar at that rate.
After putting a celebration of life where we just rented out a brand new facility in Oakland, just throwing a deposit in the room for $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not that far off from what some people do. But with a bar, with AV, with everything.
And it was brand new.
It was, yeah, brand new.
AV is what?
$5,000.
Yeah. Right, and so the larger events that we do at Mission Blue, like weddings, they typically rent 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're talking about $5,000 for a 20-year-old building that's not.
And this is for the
cheap.
entire day.
Right.
You have to report it
Right.
beforehand.
Yeah.
And that's not covering everything else that's there.
Correct.
We've had some items during events, I mean, not items. And at the end, when you're adding it all up, they've had to spend about $25,000. And there's been weddings with everything else that the price tag following it. So
I mean, people, I get this all the time. People love that building. Oh, I've been to a party up there. It's so beautiful up there. There's abundant parking. It's a beautiful area. The view, when the weather's nice and it's not windy, it's a beautiful place to be, and people really like it. But a lot of people, when they hear the rate, they just that's way over the top.
And staff's recommendation too
Yeah, we're looking for recommendations on adjusting the rates. I'd also like to get more across the board on a resident and non-resident. I mean, for programming, it's always been, as long as I've been here, it's always been a 20% non-resident differential between resident rate and non-resident rate. And I don't know how our facility rates got so out of whack. I mean, they're not even consistent within each facility. They're just all over the board. So, I mean, I would think I would like to standardize our rate structure just so it kind of is standard.
So is the example table that the proposal, or is that just an example?
Those were numbers I came up with that kind of get us near the average. It was basically, I mean, it's a big drop for some of them, but I mean, we're still at those rates, we're still a resident for a full facility at Mission Blue at 225. We're still above a lot of local places, but what was the average I came up with? Sorry.
Still above every other facility.
Yeah, still above every facility. So, I mean, I didn't know how it would go over, if it'd be a big sticker shock, if we drop them so drastically, but drastically. But it's up to you guys if you want to.
My opinion would be, it seems like they're asking for a premium relative to every other place there is. I've not been to all those other places to see if Mission Blue warrants that sort of premium, but I can't imagine anything certainly over what most of them have to give, and what they have will be wildly maybe a little bit lower relative to all the other places listed here.
That's just my opinion. I have a couple of thoughts about it. One, Noreen, you said in your comments at 220 you were in the building, and when we did build facility subcommittee, we went and looked with you, Stephen, at the condition of the building. I know it's been repainted. The kitchen is not a top-notch system and so on, and we came back and talked about what it would take to bring up to its tip-top shape, which is not infinite. Some things have been done. There are plans to complete them, and that has an impact, first of all, on its value. We have a premium location, so we're maybe it's better than the other one, which justifies a little bit a higher cost. The other thing is if we lower the prices, which the members here are suggesting that that's something we should consider, we would get more rentals and about the same amount of income. You understand what I mean? Is that the desirable thing? Also, I'm curious about, that building serves two purposes. One is for community purposes, and we do have a lot of community events there which aren't producing income, and it's not just supposed to be about producing income. And I guess there's a question about is there part of the problem of not renting it as much as we might like because it's blocked out for community events? But Steve, to your point, that we're all over the map in terms of the difference between residents and non-residents, even within our own rentals, and that should certainly be remedied. You mentioned the number 20%. It seems to be what the average is in other cities, so we could certainly be looking to try to make that number more clear. So those are my questions and thoughts.
If I may, through the chair, I agree with Kevin with especially the nonprofits that we have in town, which they're great, and I'm not saying anything they aren't, but I think really we should have a flat fee rate for them, because when they do come in, sometimes they're 2 days, and that's paying for electricity, that's paying for staff coverage, and sometimes you have 3 different staff people there, and all the cleaning and stuff like that. That's taken out. And I think it would be good that if we did have a flat fee for nonprofits, because some of them still don't know the responsibilities that they you know, are to do when they're up there. Like for instance, cleaning, taking out the trash. They just think where they come in and rent it, and staff will just take care of all that. So I think we should look into that. And I do have some people that come up there and they want some dates, but they cannot have them because nonprofits are in their funding to do rehab and all that.
So just for 2019, just on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we had 31 rentals and we had 36 co-sponsored events. So we're doing more no non-revenue generating events than we are
But
events.
what are you paying out in revenue for staff?
Yeah.
So it still costs.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they paid $100.
And then also, like, I'm sure, cause I know I've been up there for some day, the few daytime rentals that we have because most of our building attendants work for the school district, so they're busy during the day. Last minute memorials were 2 of the 3 daytime rentals we had, and people coming from San Francisco, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, this place!" You know, a lot of them never been to Brisbane, liked the place, showed them the brochure, and that was the end of the conversation. Because, you know, it's really a premium price for a municipal rental home.
Well, and based on this last page here, and I'm just looking at the averages here, we would need to essentially cut our rates in half to be competitive with other facilities in the region. Am I reading it correctly?
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, I could do more digging, but I would venture that all those other facilities have a much higher rental rate than we do, like an occupancy rate, like at a hotel. I'm sure they probably got events just about at least 3 weekends a month.
And do those other facilities also are they also used for community purposes? Because you quoted us the number of times when nonprofits were using it versus an independent rental, and one of the functions of the Achievement Center is also
Yeah.
as a meeting place for the community. So are these other facilities also doing that same balancing?
Yeah. San Carlos Adult Community Center is their senior center Monday through Friday during business hours. So they pretty much only do weekend rentals, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Westboro Park, their facility is really nice. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty new. It's their main facility for programming in Orange Park. Yeah, I'm sure they all have dance classes, yoga, and also community events. And I've been to the other one in South San Francisco for like little league meetings for the coaches, and they do give them out to community groups for free.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of standard in the industry that nonprofits utilize city facilities for a lot of their functions. I know that some cities do like limit the number of reservations per year for each respective nonprofit group, so that's another consideration. Instead of charging a fee, you could say, each group gets X number of free rentals, and then you don't have to pay the fee if you chose to do that. But I think, and just to backtrack a little bit, generally speaking, like the overall philosophy of Mission Blue was that it was intended to be a community resource, and it is being utilized that way. And so I don't want to impose new rules that would restrict that or that would prohibit resident nonprofit organizations from being able to continue their practices.
Did you check into Colma with their community center? Okay.
It's relatively new too,
they have a really nice commercial pitch to do.
So is the recommendation to stop the lower rates proposed, or do we want to have further analysis before we consider that?
I think it would be helpful, Steve, if you would come back with some numbers that are more in line with what the other communities are doing, and really importantly, sort of adopt 20% difference, roughly 20% difference. I mean, because that's something that seems really out of line, even within our own fee structure. The ramifications of that, though, is that we might see the number, the rental amount, drop even further. That we cut those rental fees in half. We increase our rentals by 30%, 40%. We don't really have the capacity to double the number of rentals. So wouldn't we actually take a hit financially?
What we can do is we can kind of use an average number, and go back and look at our rentals from the past year, and then assess what the difference would be between the lower proposed rate versus what we brought in revenue for the business last year, to find out what the differential is and what we would need to make up if we were to lower the rates, and whether or not we think that it would be feasible to generate that many more rentals to bring revenue stream to the government or to the town.
Okay. Steve?
We'll bring it back to our next meeting then.
Ooh, the next one we have on the list, under new business is master fee schedule and budget with an attachment.
So okay. So the previous conversation segues nicely into this next conversation. Every year we bring the budget in front of the commission as well as the master fee schedule to review, and for the commission to weigh in and make any potential recommendations to the city council for the upcoming budget cycles. We do a 2-year budget, so we would be looking at fiscal years 2020, 21 and 2021, 22. In your packet, we've already talked a little bit about facility rentals. We'll bring that back to the next meeting. And then, so in the packet, the first attachment is the current master fee schedule, and beyond that is
adjusted if it's by month or by day or by week. So when it does go up 3% and it kind of gets out of whack, so at one point they were 20% difference, but now because I know that's happened before, and they kind of stray depending on how an individual fee is calculated. So if it's a lot bigger, that raises up 3%, it kind of jumps up
After a couple of years.
after a couple of years. Yeah,
That's just the difference.
yeah, I think so. Without looking into it, I know that's happened before.
Just a question. The sand lot volleyball that we have, I don't see any facility charges for that on this schedule. Has
Council did adopt those fees when we went to them with the new policy amendment bucket. I just don't think we got those in this version of the master fee schedule, so I apologize. But those, we will make sure that they make their way in there. And I think it's 25 per hour for residents and 30 for non-residents. So I'll make a note of that and make sure we get it on there. Anything else? Will we bring the book back with the updated updates for the volleyball court and the school? We would bring it back if the commission wanted to have additional discussion about it, but if the commission is content with the fees, with the minor addition of the volleyball courts and the potential pending changes to facility rentals, then we won't consider anything else. Aside from the rental fees, which is contracted already. Okay.
But you're going to go through the rest of this, no?
Okay. I'm happy to speak to it if you have questions, but I wasn't going to go by it.
Some of that stuff I find confusing.
You have specific questions.
I guess the whole conversation is I find it kind of hard to follow. I understand the front part, what you just said with all the fees, but the breakdown of some of it.
Well, and I understand how it could seem that way because it's not a typical line item budget. It's through the priority-based budgeting process, and so it's intended to generate conversations at a higher level instead of being so far down in the weeds talking about what we spend on things essentials. It's supposed to be more program-based and reflective of what our budget programs are at a higher level. So it doesn't give you the minute details of what we're spending specifically, but more so at a higher level, what those financial reports look like.
I did have a few questions because I tried to make heads or tails of this. And first of all, some general questions. When it says administration and salaries, what that means is that individual employees' salaries are subdivided into different categories depending on how much time they work on each project. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. And it says actual expenditures for 16-17, 17-18 approved budget. That there must be updated actual figures because that was some time ago. Is that correct? I'm looking at the heading on the top.
There are updated actuals. I just pulled this from
some time back.
Our last budget that the city published, and when they published this 2 years ago,
I see.
they probably didn't have that.
And then that leads to the last question, is that the proposed budget
correct
is actually an approved budget.
Because this is the proposed budget from
yeah,
the fiscal
and
year.
then Just going through, just trying to see if I understand what some of these jumps are about on page 220, under indoor facilities, from 16.
What page?
Let's see, I'm on page 220.
Okay.
Wait, hang on a second. Under salaries from 14 to 101, is that when we had a new hire? Is that reflecting a new hire? What is that jump in expenditure?
Let's see.
The bottom category, indoor facilities salaries. In the first column, it goes from 14,000 to 101,000.
It was probably a reallocation of staff time that was updated to reflect their actual staff allocation.
I see. Okay.
2 new coordinators that didn't exist.
Right, or we had 2 coordinator positions that didn't exist the previous year, and so with the addition of their time and that allocation factored in, that's probably justifies the.
So it's not new hire, the increase of staff, because there has been increase of staff during this period of time. It's just a reallocation of existing staff.
Well, that would be the addition of the new staff's time.
Got it.
Also.
Okay. Well, that was what I thought. And on the next page, on 221, under supplies and services in 16-17 and 17-18, it goes down significantly. And what I think I remember, this is under supplies and services, was this the year that the pool was revamped, and is that the expense of the pool being revamped? 1,000, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line, supplies and services, from the first to the second, third, and fourth, where they're all consistent at less than half. And so is that reflecting the pool was shut down and major rework done? Is that what that's reflecting?
I don't think that would be the pool renovation, because that would probably have fallen under the aquatics budget. So I'm not sure what that is, but I could look into it to find out why there's that big jump.
Yeah, it is hard to.
It is hard. Really? This is given to us, and we're trying to figure out what these numbers mean. And I was trying to second guess it. On page 223, the third line down, we see $113,527, and then it's gone. And I have in my notes, was that the school bus? Because that's the school bus.
But it'd be nice if it said bus.
Yeah, it's granular.
Yeah.
And
because we're all guessing, well, what was that?
I know.
Yeah.
I guess, what feedback are you soliciting from us?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I get the question I sort of had was, okay, what is this, what are we supposed to do with this information? And when it's hard to understand, it's at the granular level.
Yeah.
And it seemed to me that what would be valuable for us is to, in each of these departments, is to understand what the relationship between the earned income is, which this, of course, doesn't tell us.
Right.
What's the earned income versus the expenses, and are there trend lines that are showing that the earned income is decreasing relative to the expenses or increasing relative to expenses, and that kind of information would be of value if we're trying to make comment on it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
We can absolutely bring it back with that additional level of information. We have it because we talk about it internally as staff. And we are tracking more specifically each of these items. For childcare, we do kind of break it out for preschool and after school and camps, and we track it that way. So we do have that information. It's just not in this format.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's questions regarding specific programs, for example, special events or the pool, we can bring back more specific budgetary information regarding those programs, but we can also bring back a comparison of like our expenditures or revenues over the last several years so that you can see the trajectory.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you have specific questions prior to our next meeting, after you kind of looked at the content, feel free to send me an email. That way I can come to the meeting prepared with the information that you're looking for.
Okay. Great. Okay, moving on to reports. Chairperson. None. Subcommittees?
Do we have any?
We did not have
I
any.
say with the holidays, I don't think we had any subcommittees.
No.
Nothing. So setting up subcommittee meetings
Yes.
for 2020.
I do know that Jeff has requested a Concerts in the Park subcommittee meeting, so who's ever on that, if they could try to
Okay.
get something together.
Bonnie
Um,
and Natalie.
And
And Kevin.
is it
Kevin.
David?
Do I still
Or,
Yeah.
oh,
with that
Constance and
subcommittee
Bart.
meeting?
Oh,
or,
Kevin, yeah.
Or what's the
It depends,
Depends on when it is.
You become a citizen, Kevin.
well, it does seem if that subcommittee is going to start looking at the next season,
Yeah.
that it should be with its new subcommittee composition.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the most valuable way to do it.
So typically, you would go through all the subcommittees and see
Okay.
if there's anybody that wants to meet.
Okay, so with Brisbane Derby Day in the Park, nothing, nope. Concerts in the park, events, Festival of Lights, Habitat Restoration Day.
Bonnie, when the Habitat subcommittee with OSEC usually happens in the early part of the year, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we should probably coordinate with OSEC
Yeah.
to schedule
And
that
let me know.
subcommittee meeting. Okay.
Recreation programs, recreational facilities, seniors, YAC, teen services,
No, they just came.
oh, trails development.
I'm going to talk about that a little bit under my department report, but I think we will hold off until after our February meeting to schedule the trail subcommittee meeting.
Okay. Use of 280 South with Kevin.
So are we going to wait then to do a concert? Because when will we do that reorg?
I think it's probably best to just schedule it with the existing commissioners, and then if and when we reshuffle, we can fold.
Okay, so if you guys could do something with the concerts now, that would be great.
So you do want to have a subcommittee while I'm still included? Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So,
Get my calendar.
Nice try, Kevin.
I'm free.
Just when I thought I.
I'm free next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, 4:30 or Thursday, 4:30 or.
Tuesday is fine for me, the 14th.
14th?
Yeah.
What time?
End of the day,
Okay.
which is for me is 4:30, 4:30, 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Okay. Let's do 5.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Does that work for you, Bonnie?
Are you free?
Tuesday?
At 5?
At 5?
5?
4:30 or 5?
5 is good.
5.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the only other change that I was going to have Tricia make to this was that Renee is currently sitting on the beautification city council ad hoc subcommittee, so we'll add that to this list so that it's reflected.
And we are actually meeting tomorrow night at 4:30.
Okay.
And are we good with setting the meetings? Okay. Commissioners?
I have a couple of things. One thing, the community center needs paint again. It's really looking bad. And secondly,
Inside or outside?
inside.
Okay.
Did you notice it today at all, Steve? It's pretty bad.
I will take your word.
Okay, thank you.
We'll try to get somebody out there.
And First Park, I see they've been working on it.
They are working on the installation of the new furniture.
That's what I saw.
Yes.
I had a couple of things, and I hope this is the right place. This is a conversation I had with a member of the community, and this has to do with Evening of Sharing, and their child applied for it and was turned down because of an age restriction. However, there is nothing in any of the information that's put out that there is an age restriction, that no children are allowed to apply. So we went through a conversation about it. It's fine if they are turned down on the merits, but for a child to be turned down, to go through the process of applying, and then be turned down for a rule that is an unwritten rule, seemed a bit off to this individual. So perhaps it's something that we should look into in the future to make sure that the understanding of what the age limit is for people to apply for that event would be. And then the other thing is, this is my last meeting, and I just wanted to thank everybody on this commission, all the people I've worked with. It's really been a pleasure. I think we've done some really wonderful stuff, and not just the current commissioners I worked with, but the commissioners that I've worked with from past commissions as well. It's really been a pleasure, particularly Bonnie, Public Art.
Yes,
you know.
You will be missed.
Yeah. So I just wanted to thank everybody.
Thank you, Kevin. We'll definitely miss you. Staff. Any staff updates, programs report?
I just have a quick little bit of information. Winter camp recap. We had 2 weeks of winter camp, and the first week they had 31 kids, and the second week they had 32 kids. So it's pretty even all the way through. Also, the winter-spring registration opened in December on the 10th, and at this point registrations are going well. Baseball opened up on Tuesday of this week, and it's pretty much already full, except for the T-ball. T-ball's a little slow this year, but as per usual, it fills up pretty quick, as well as Shirley's art classes, which are completely full for the next 3 sessions. So, but yeah, people are starting to sign up for the spring swimming now, and so all those are open and ready for registration.
Other news, we're having the pool will be closed for maintenance February 15th through March 1st. We'll have the showers and locker room resurfaced, cleaned, sealed, and redone, glazed, to make it all look shiny and new. We're also talking to contractors right now to get new countertops and sinks for the bathrooms in there too. So that'll be happening last 2 weeks of February. Also, an announcement that we will have a new senior recreation leader for the after-school program starting next Tuesday. He comes to us from the city of San Mateo. He's a credentialed teacher, got interested in recreation instead of teaching, and we will be glad to have him. He will be taking over Sarah's place as a kind of day-to-day site leader for the after-school program, summer camps, and spring camps and all that. That's the end of my announcement.
All right, just a couple quick ones. The application deadline for Park and Rec Commissioners is this Friday, January 10th, and council will hold interviews at the end of the month on the 30th. Also, a save the date, Thursday, February 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. is the mandatory in-house AB 1234 ethics training for commissioners and elected officials, elected and appointed, I believe.
What is it?
Thursday, February 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. And if you're not able to attend, let me know or let Ingrid know, and then I think we can schedule an alternate time for you to receive that ethics training. It's required. I think it's every 2 years. I think it's every 2 years. So mark your calendars if you could. Just an update on the Crocker Park Trail. The bid packets went out to potential consultants this week. Woohoo! I've had a lot of interest. Several consultants and landscape architects have reached out and said that they're really excited by the project. They're going to be walking the trail in the next couple weeks, and so I'm excited to see what we get back from that. The timeline for their submissions, they're due by February 7th, and then we noted on the RFP packet that the selection committee would review those proposals from February to March. So at that time, we'll schedule a Trails subcommittee meeting with Park and Rec Trails subcommittee, as well as the Open Space and Ecology representative. So it's exciting that that project is moving forward. And then just a couple.
Just a point there. Should there also be representatives from Public Art?
Yes, we talked about representative from Public Art as well. Okay. And then upcoming events, Artist Evening of Sharing is on Saturday, February 8th at 7:30 at Mission Blue. And LunaFest is scheduled for Saturday, March 28th, also at Mission Blue. And that's it.
Noreen, a question in regards to the ethics. When was the timing on that Thursday?
It's 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And then just a quick note before we adjourn, or I can wait till our commission calendar.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
Commission matters, written communications, commission calendar.
Here we are. Our next meeting is scheduled for February 12th, which is actually a holiday for us. We're closed here at City Hall and staff is off.
It's because it's my birthday.
So we are proposing moving the meeting up a week and holding it on February 5th, if that works for the commissioners. And then I also noted, looking at my calendar today, that our March meeting is scheduled when several staff, including myself, are going to be in Long Beach for the annual CPRS conference. So we'll need to reschedule that meeting as well. So we can either do the week prior. We can't do the week after because there's a meeting in this room. So we either have to cancel or reschedule. So I just wanted to put that out there for discussion tonight.
Just let me ask if anybody here knows if they have an issue with February 5th. You do. I saw your face. All right, you do not.
Yes, I do.
Do you really?
Can we do February 4th?
No.
We can't do it on a Tuesday?
No. Okay.
Not available?
2 nights in a row.
Okay, well, that would make it not a quorum. Oh, wait. Do we do the 19th? Is that?
We can't do the 19th.
We can't because there's a standing meeting
here
the week
after sorry.
us.
Yeah, okay. And we could do that 4th Wednesday, but then that would mean we'd have to come right back the next Wednesday.
Can we do it in the conference room? Do we have to be televised?
Yeah.
We do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means if we do it on the February 26th, we would get to cancel.
We would probably take
the
the March
March
meeting and push it to the end of March. And then we would be in the middle of April for the next meeting. Awesome.
Sorry.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, there won't be a quorum. If Renee and Lyle.
Okay.
Also, last week of March, first week of April, or spring break.
Good.
We'll be done with that.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm trying to get February right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, maybe Tricia can connect with you each individually, and then we can go from there as far as scheduling the next meeting.
So we'll remove the 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And the 5th.
Well, don't remove the 5th yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Right. So,
Go ahead.
No, ladies first.
I might be able to rearrange something on the 5th.
Okay, we'll work it out, and we'll circle back with everybody just to confirm.
If you will, yes, I too will try to see if I can rearrange the 5th as well. So.
Wow.
So nice.
Sounds like that would be. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Adjournment? All right. Adjournment, it's 8:06 p.m.
And 17 seconds.